Hello, it's Ark. Um, I've been wanting to address the whole having Shane Bales on the show thing. Um, I had him on the show because there are people who are suffering, who are trying to figure out what happened to them, and he seems very convinced that we were never in space. And I wanted to hear his side and understand it better and see how it all really works. But I think his whole thing was just to make me look bad and laugh at me. And I think it just speaks to his character, shows that he doesn't really have any humility, that he's full of himself. Um, I apologize for having on the show, but I'm trying to show that I'm not afraid to be challenged. I'm not afraid to change my mind. I know that it's very important to keep our minds and hearts open. And we're trying to get to the bottom of this, and this is human trafficking. And I thought that me and Shane could maybe get down to the reality of that a bit more. But unfortunately, he kind of talked over me, and he didn't really listen to what I had to say. Um, that's really just to make fun of us and say that this isn't real, that we were never in space. What I want people to understand is we were in space. Um, I'm just trying to figure out what are screen memories, what's not. And there are many different methods of doing that. We could do a whole show on screen memories, and we probably will in the near future. But I just want to point out that misremembering something slightly is different than imagining being raped when it never happened or being tortured when it never happened. And that false memory syndrome literally was invented as an argument in court to defend pedophiles who were participating in Masonic, satanic ritual abuse. There's a lot of people who have come forward about these rituals. They're real. They are occurring. They are illegal. And these groups are highly protected. The cops are not going to bust in and stop these things from happening. We're not supposed to be talking about this shit out in the open. And yeah, I just kind of think that he talked over me and he didn't listen to me. It's pretty obvious. When I tried to explain the story of the dream recall is real. Whether people want to accept that or not, I don't give a fuck. It is real. And the memory had nothing to do with space. It had to do with a military guy with a blurred face talking with me about psychic abilities and using them in a combat setting. And he didn't even listen to what I had to say. Look, I didn't have him on the show to prove to him that what I went through was real. That's not why I had him on the show, and he and Ryder Lee seem to think that. I had him on the show for him to explain better to me what's going on. Now, their explanation is that our phones are beaming this all into our minds and it's all connected. But also in the same sentence, they'll say that we're all making it up and that we're all just telling stories and we're LARPing. I said in the interview, it's either one or the other, okay? It's either one or the other. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but it's like to say that we're just telling stories is ignoring that there's mind control at play here. And that's what I wanted to get to the bottom of, is the mind control aspect and why would they be making us think that we went into space and stuff. I think his explanation is a little silly. And I think that I've done enough research to know that he's full of shit, that people with higher ET DNA do have more abilities, that there's ET DNA in probably most of the human beings on Earth, but some of them have higher concentrations, and those are the ones that are taken for these programs. I've done enough research to where I can see that he's trying to divert the issue. And you can see it in the interview when he says that he never hurt anybody in these programs. Now, we know how these MK Ultra programs work. You give little kids kittens and tell them to kill them. You give little Johnny a gun and tell him to shoot the guy in the corner with a bag over his head. You desensitize people to violence and you do absolutely atrocious fucking things, okay? And I will say that I do remember Shane from the programs. He says I'm full of shit. Personally, I don't know if he remembers being at Montauk, but he was there and he got transferred to fucking Area 51. He can sit there up and down all day and say that's not real. It's true. Not only that, he was there for me. He would sneak food to me. He would do nice things for me. That's part of the reasons why I was very emotional talking to Shane. And when he started saying that I looked like him, I got freaked out. Okay? I just don't believe that he left the Illuminati. I don't think you get to leave the Illuminati. I think we all know that. I think it's a lifelong commitment. Also, I don't believe that he's not a disinformation agent. And the best disinformation agents believe everything they're saying. So for all I know, he believes in it and he doesn't even know he's a disinformation agent. I don't know. I'm not him. What I can say is I'm not a disinformation agent. And that's what I was trying to get the bottom of. Because if I am a disinformation agent, it's because I believe in bullshit. That I believe it's true. I am telling my truth, but if my truth is wrong, you get what I'm saying here? So that's why I had him on the show. Meanwhile, I've seen spaceships in real life. I've gotten marks on my body. I've experienced things in the here and now, like the Swiss hotel thing, where a lady literally came in my hotel room and there was a door to our two doors. It was, oh, if you're actually in this, you realize it's fucking weird and there's something going on. Now, the public, they might be able to sit there and watch Shane Bales and Ryder Lee call me a LARPer and write it off. But those of us experiencing this know this is deeper. And that's why I had Shane on the show. And that's why no matter what he says, he's laughing at my false memories, not my trauma. My false memories are trauma, okay? He said that the sexy stories are going to space, okay? Not and it's to cover up what's going on where we're being programmed and tortured on Earth. The stories of space are not sexy. People being turned into cyborgs, people having families on other planets, remembering fighting aliens and stuff like that, giant centipedes, whatever the fuck. None of those memories are fun. Just because they make video games out of World War II and movies out of World War II and hearing stories about it is very interesting, the history of it's very interesting, doesn't make it sexy. And that's the same kind of narrative that Shane is trying to place on the SSP thing, is that we all are saying we are heroes going out in space and fight aliens to save Earth. And what I'm trying to tell you is, no, we're not heroes. We're slaves. This is human trafficking, okay? It's highly illegal. What it is it's a consciousness black market. And through time travel and clone bodies and also age regression, they have an unlimited source of labor. That's what this is, people. It's slavery. And we all know, like I said, we hurt people in these programs. That if you're in these programs, you do nefarious things that are technically illegal. Of course, Shane is not going to sit there on a podcast and say, yeah, I've hurt little kids. And I remembered it the whole time. I have the culpability issue where I was programmed. I was enslaved. When I hurt people, I was told to do it. And if I didn't do it, I'd get hurt. And arguably, it was not any different for Shane when he was in the programs. Okay? So, again, he's going to say this is completely off the wall. He gets messages from people saying, is that Montauk every day? I don't fucking care. I remember what I remember. Okay? And I have to present my story as it is. And this is a resource for people. That's why this channel is up. Not to get attention and tell space stories. We all know that when you remember being a hero in space, that's most likely a screen memory, and you want to look into that. Memories of, oh, I was out there saving the kids. You lift the veil, and next thing you know, oh no, you're actually kidnapping and trafficking kids for Nachtwaffen or the interplanetary corporations or whatever. Very little of what we do out there is good. There's not much of a chip of a shoulder on your shoulder to be had, and I am not special. These programs are far-reaching, and at least hundreds of thousands of people are a part of these programs on Earth, if not millions. And I would err towards millions. So I just wanted to address having them on the show. I don't need to sit there and pick out apart the whole video for 3 fucking hours. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to address it. I think it's really obvious that he was bullying me. I'm not trying to bully the guy. I'm not trying to poke fun at him. I'm not trying to laugh at him. But that's what he's doing to us, and that's what he's doing to me, and it's disrespectful. It has been the whole time. You saw him literally challenge me to a fight on air. We don't have to fucking act like this. It's ridiculous. Even if he's trying to prove the point of you don't have the muscle memory, you're not a fighter, da-da-da-da-da, you don't have to literally ask me if I want to fight you on air. That's childish. So, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the truth. People can sit there all day up and down and say, oh, I'm getting attention. You don't see the messages I get of people getting, yes, they do get raped by their parents. It's part of the program. Like, he's talking about, yeah, you might have gotten raped by your dad on the interview, which was very offensive, first of all. And second of all, yes, this is generational. It is in our families. They set up our whole lives. The mind control is all around us. We are all wardens to our own prison, corralling each other mentally. That's how these programs work. And that's what I'm going to get to the bottom of. That's why I'm here, to really explain to people how the mental brainwashing and the mind control works so they can break free from it. And that's why I had Shane on the shows, because I thought maybe he could help with that, but he didn't. He fucking dropped the ball big time. And whatever, that's okay. I was combative with him because what he did piss me off. I felt like he went on Penny's show, got a free advertisement for his services, and then at the end said, by the way, you're all full of shit, bye. I thought that was rude. I think that saying that he could fight us is rude. I think he just has been an asshole. Intentionally. He's antagonizing us. And then when we react, he's, oh, look, they're emotional. They're emotionally reacting. Everybody emotionally reacts to things. We're humans. Yes, I want your attention. I want to have this conversation with you. It's like saying, hey, Shane Bales, come over here. I want to talk to you. That's what I did. I got your fucking attention, okay? To sit there and say, he says that he wrote this blog, but he didn't want any attention and he was just thrust into this. Bullshit. Call him bullshit. If you didn't want any attention, you would have wrote that shit in Microsoft Word and got it off your chest and walked away from it. But no, you put it on the World Wide Web where anybody with a computer could access it. Was that an accident? No. Is him going on all these shows and talking is an accident? No, it's not. Just because he didn't take Gaia and become this big thing doesn't mean that he doesn't want attention. He has a Patreon where people pay for his attention, okay? So that's bullshit. It's all posturing. The victims want attention. The victims want community and attention. That's the same thing that they tell kids who are part of these rituals. And false memory syndrome is not accepted by mainstream psychiatry. It's not, okay? There's sources for this you can look up. Meanwhile, dissociative identity disorder is a real disorder that you can be clinically diagnosed with, and I'm going through the process of doing that with a therapist right now, as we speak. So, I just wanted to address it all. I probably didn't address everything, but I just wanted to say, no, this isn't for attention. We're trying to figure this out. We are traumatized by our memories. I get messages every day of people experiencing horrible things. It's like suddenly you're on another planet and getting raped and tortured and having to kill people is cool because you're in space. Maybe for caveman morons that don't comprehend reality is bigger than the fishbowl they're put in. But not for me, okay? Not for people like me, all right? And I think that's all I need to say, man. I love you all. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to gaslight you and belittle you and laugh at you. And that's clearly what Shane Bales is here to do. So I tried to help. I tried to get him on the show and let him help and clear his image and show that he isn't just trying to belittle us. And no, that's not what's going on. I tried to give him a chance. He dropped the fucking ball. He doesn't give a fuck about your trauma, what you're experiencing, or the hell that you're living through. He cares about making people believe that it never occurred to begin with, and it all happened in VR. It's all very convenient cover story, because if we never got tortured in the 3D here and now, if we never actually got sent out to all other planets, and if we never actually experienced these things, and they're in VR, nobody's culpable. And that's why we have to fight against his narrative. It's because there are people that are culpable for these programs. They have names and addresses. John B. Alexander, I'm talking to you. I'm going to keep talking. I'm not going to go away for 6 months like he suggested me. Nobody can fucking gaslight me out of what I experience on a regular basis. And I suggest that you don't let anybody do it to you either. Okay? We all got to stay grounded. We all got to look out for each other. We all got to let each other know, hey, you're looking a little nutty right now. You might want to chill out. Let's not kid ourselves. There are people in this community who are losing their mind over this shit. It's not because it didn't happen to them. Having this kind of shit happen to you will make you go crazy. We all have a mental illness that they literally stimulated and created to fracture our consciousness into pieces so they could use them for whatever they wanted to. We're tools to them. Your consciousness is like a toolbox, a bunch of save folders that they have that they can pull up, insert into clones, and make them do what they want. That's what this is. It's human trafficking, not sexy space stories. I think I've reiterated a million fucking times. You can say it over and over again. It doesn't make it real. Like, repeating a point doesn't make it accurate. So saying these are sexy space stories doesn't make them sexy space stories. Torturing and killing people does not all of a sudden become sexy when you're on another planet, or if you're back in time, or in the future. It's still war, it's still terror, it's still trauma. You still get PTSD from it. You still need counseling, you still need therapy, and there's still people who need to be held accountable for allowing this shit to occur on American soil. Have a good day, everybody. I love you.